Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and welcome back to Arena Mode. Now, I know that this is going to be one of those videos that some people really enjoy and some people probably don't give a crap about. However, it is a thing that I figure needs to be made because it is a lot of fun, in my opinion. Now, not everybody's going to enjoy Arena Mode. I get that. But I'll tell you what. Some of the most fun battles that I've had in this game since I have played this game have come in this arena mode. I'm not exaggerating. Like, it is a lot of fun. We are running a triple cruiser division, which means we are forcing the game to put all cruisers in our match. Okay, that's a bit of an exploit, but it's not our exploit. It's just the way, a lot of people have come to the realization. Now, why are we doing that? Well, first of all, cruisers are insanely good at everything. They're very, very versatile, and they can pack a punch. But they are kind of like the perfect balance between destroyers, which are really, really fast and sneaky and maneuverable and all the things that can make good matches, but also can make just really annoying matches where people run away and don't try to do anything. Then battleships, which are gigantic, slow, lumbering beasts that can really reach out and hurt somebody, but those matches tend to take a little longer. So the cruisers are kind of like the perfect blend if you're trying to grind out the XP for the steel to get in the top 1%. Running a triple cruiser division, forcing it into all cruisers, and getting out there with a couple buddies so that you get the matches in under 10 minutes every single time is the way to go. Which is why there are a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot, millions and millions, no, okay, but lots of folks out there running triple cruiser divisions, meaning queue times are generally pretty low, so you get into the matches real quick, and the fight times aren't that long because, let's face it, there are a lot of potatoes out there, so for every good team that you have, you got a whole bunch of potatoes. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Our team isn't the best. We're not saying we're the best or anything like that. And in this particular video, you're going to see some very early arena mode. Like, this is very, very early. It's like my very first day in arena mode. These two, which is Let 'em Peek, which you guys know from my ranked battles. And I got greased over here, or you got greased. Can't remember which one. I think it's I got greased. Anyway, he is our... We just absolutely smashed that Nuremberg. And by we, I mean they did, because I barely did anything. Because, RNG giveth, and RNG taketh away. Now we reach out for another broadsiding Nuremberg with our Pensacola as the first one gets finished off. This time we reached out and touched him, 8,000 damage. And we're not going to be the only one. And you'll notice that they're getting pinched as Peak reaches out and touches him. I get the guns shooting again. And are we going to finish him off? Absolutely, getting our second Citadel and bringing us up to 13,000. Now, you can see these guys shoot at the Devonshire, who is broadside on. You're going to see that as a really bad strategy in this game, especially against Pensacola's. But we also see a whole bunch of angry torpedoes heading our direction. Luckily, they didn't have the range because we kind of ran all over each other here trying to get ready to dodge. I was turning in and he wasn't. So we kind of touched a little bit, not gonna lie. Now, what do I mean by getting pinched? Getting pinched is just an expression for what we call it when you are being fought on both sides of your spawn. When two teams on opposite sides of you come together to fight you. That's getting pinched. That is the worst situation you can find yourself in, and even the best teams struggle to come out on top. Just due to the simple fact that you cannot win 2v1s when one ship is on one side of you and the other ship is on the other side of you. And that's under the best circumstances. Okay? And that's just how it goes. So even the best teams in arena mode can be pinched and absolutely wiped off the planet. Like, it just happens. We might survive a little bit longer as a good team, and do a lot more damage than would a potato team in the same situation. But at the end of the day, we generally end up losing that when it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but we did run into it quite a bit last night, I'll be honest. But by the way, all three of us are in the top 1% currently. Not that that really means anything, just means we've played a lot. The average XP is what you're kind of looking for in terms of how good somebody has done in this mode. So we'll go over stats once the arena mode's about to end so that we can give you guys the full advantage. Now, keep in mind that my stats will be a little bit lower than theirs solely because A, they're better than I am, and B, I played a lot solo as well. I ran a lot of solo battleship duels and stuff like that that was really hurting my win rate because it's very difficult, I don't know if you guys know this or not, it's very difficult as a solo player to win against 3 other teams who really want you to die. Especially when the people that are on your team are usually potatoes. Usually. You do occasionally get some good players, just like you occasionally get, well, more often than not, you get the potatoes. But, yeah, we've moved up into the cap because they were capping. I don't normally like to come into the cap just solely due to the fact that I don't like to cap. It's plain and simple. You guys have heard me say it more than once at this point. I am not a capper. I am not a fan of caps. I hate it. I hate giving pacifists a way to win the battle. However, you have to counter the enemy, and this Nuremberg comes out broadside on, trying to get away from the fire of my teammates, and unsuccessfully does so. Peak manages to snipe him right before my shells hit, even though I think I overled him a little bit on that shot. Now, I would like to know from you guys, let me know down in the comments below, if you want to see some more ranked, only with live commentary. Because I do want, or not ranked, it's arena, sorry, I keep calling it ranked. But if you do want to see more arena mode, but with live division chat, let me know, we'll make it happen for you guys. Because I do enjoy it, it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it a lot. We run a lot of Pensacola's, or I'll run a Grafspe occasionally to add a tank build in kind of with our 2 heavy hitters. There's a lot of ways that you can approach this game mode, and none of them are necessarily wrong, it's just how you use them. And the more people go broadside to you, the more that they are not going to like the outcome. Now, right off the bat, you're going to see this Pensacola still broadside to everything. Am I going to get out over the island? It's going to be close. We did hit the island. Somebody smashed him, and unfortunately, we did not hit him. Now, we've got a Nuremberg off to my right. We've got a Pensacola off to my right. So I noticed the Nuremberg coming towards me this direction. I have teammates protecting that side of me. I need to focus my guns on this Pensacola because I can't let him get behind our guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's the gist of this, okay? Or the gist. It's not the just, it's the gist. But you guys understand what I'm saying. So now that we're in the cap, we're controlling. They have to come in, regardless. Our guys are on the back side of the cap over there. I am forcing the issue. They have to come in at me. And so, as they're going to push around, my guys are going to have good shots on both of these guys, potentially. As you can see, they're positioning on the map. Now, obviously, whoever's closest to that island not going to have a shot at my Pensacola over here, but he might have a good shot at the Nuremberg that's coming up in through the gap very soon. So, you guys know that the duels, how to win duels, is you try to pull yourself back, let the enemy come around the corner. You have all the advantage in that way. And this Pensacola was really hesitant to come around the corner for obvious reasons. He takes a shot early. I'm already trying to go forward. I see the Nuremberg coming up behind me. I look. He loses over half his hit points in the first shot. Immediately, that man's is dead. So this guy, however, over-angled. He does hit me really well, but we've got all our guns. We hit center of mass, citadel the snot out of him, and down he goes. So that just shows a good strategy from the team, creating those crossfires that we talk about all the time. All 3 of us did pretty well in this match. I think I did the worst out of the 3 of us in this particular match, but the good news is we don't stop there. We've got two more arena battles back to back to back so that you guys can enjoy it. And so for the second match, we're going to be jumping in and we're going to be on New Dawn. And so we'll show you guys what it's like when everybody's kind of doing their thing, and you can see we're up against three different cruiser divisions, I believe. Pretty sure there was a division on each of the enemy teams. So this one should, in theory, be a lot more competitive. Why? Because you've got divisions. Okay, divisions are supposed to work together. That's how that works. But we're also going to showcase what happens, I believe, when you pinch somebody. And so we're going to be pushing off to our right, I believe, on this match. And we are going to pinch the team that spawned north of us between us and the enemy team that spawned northwest of us in the top left corner. So that's what's going to happen. It's not something that always happens. Sometimes the guys that come towards you, you just get in a one-on-one encounter. We usually win those, depending on the teams that we come across. We have come across some very, very good divisions, especially the last couple days. We've been running into them pretty hardcore. Had some really good, really good mental battles. Like, you're trying to lure them into traps, okay? Because they're very good players. Nobody's stupid when you get a good division, okay? You can't rely on somebody just making a boneheaded move, unless, of course, it's me and I beach myself in a freaking island, broadside on into 3 very good players. Won't mention any names, but it definitely did happen. Right as we get into the engagement, I'm not even joking. Like, I thought I had enough room to go around the island, and we were just getting into this. Okay, we've got a good team in front of us. We know who they are. We all know each other. That's the first thing that tells you that you're up against a good division, because you know each other. Okay, so then you go to maneuver yourselves, get yourselves into positions where you create crossfires on one another. And what ended up happening, I turned a little too soon, got myself beached, and I could not move. Literally got stuck on the freaking island, broadside to 3 Pensacola's who are very good players. Didn't end well. But here you can see, clearly we've got a Nuremberg, once again, not learning his lesson. These Nurembergs have an affinity for going broadside. Now, obviously, he's trying to probably battle tank something on his side. But you can see, we never let people get away with it. That's the difference between good divisions and bad divisions is, you make this sort of a mistake early in a game against a good division, you die. I've had it happen to me, Peek's had it happen to him, Greased, the same thing, and we just finish off with Peek and I finished off the Nuremberg. Pensacola out there giving another beautiful broadside, and you cannot do this. This is the thing that you cannot do. You cannot sail around broadside in front of good players. It will not end well. It will end very quickly, but not in your favor. So here you can see Bajani out here broadside as well. Again, I don't need to say it at this point. It doesn't end well. He gets very lucky that Peek doesn't delete him there. Greased is right behind us shooting as well. And he gets lucky again that we didn't delete him. But it's just a matter of time. You play with RNG long enough, eventually it's going to come back and bite you. Now, this Nuremberg for the pink team makes a huge mistake and allows himself to be detected. And he's going to be targeted by our guy in the back, which I believe is Greased, over the island, who is going to get a reset in this match, I believe. Okay, Peek just shot at him. We just double citadeled the guy in front. Can't remember if that was the Bajani or the Pensacola. I think it was the Pensacola we fired at. But they are going to get the reset. And that is going to give everybody a chance to get to that cap. Now, I'm pushing straight out on this Pensacola. Again, trying to keep up the fire on these guys. We don't want to leave them alive. We want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Now, I don't really have a shot on the Pensacola at the moment. I am coming out awfully broadside, which is very, very dangerous. But, at the same time, we are trying to turn in as soon as we fire the guns. And so we take minimal damage there, even though it could have been absolutely devastating. He is battle tanking us, so we're going to have to aim a little higher, try to maybe take out his guns, get some superstructure penetrations. We get a much better hit there, 4,000 damage on that salvo, 6 penetrations in total. Not all of them do damage due to the fact some of them are probably on the guns and so forth. But Pensacola goes down. Bajani out there just begging for it. He's sailing away, but the cap has been completely reset at this point, and Greased and Peek are both heading straight into the cap to do what they got to do to make sure that these scumbags, and that's what I call them. If you run straight to the base and try to do that instead of, like, first of all, it's dumb. It doesn't make any logical sense in the sense of, you're trying to earn XP in this game mode, right? Winning the battle gives you a 30% XP bonus, which is good. However, if you do nothing and you just win the battle, I will almost certainly have more XP at the end of the match than you do as a winner. Why? Because I'm going to be out here shooting things. Now, we citadel the Nuremberg. We got another good shot over the island. Are we going to be able to finish him? Wait for it. Pow! Down he goes. Not a huge hit to finish him, but it was definitely effective. All right. So we have 2 ships left on the enemy team. We've wiped out 2/3 of the match already, and we're closing in on finding the last few guys. And we are going to, this time, instead of having the good crossfires that we were looking for, we are all kind of together. And this is not good for an enemy that comes out broadside in front of us. Okay? Could be very good for an enemy who has torpedoes, which is another reason why you don't really want to be right next to one another. You want to have your formations spread out. There are different formations that you can sail in to maximize strategic advantages. Line ahead, for instance, is a very good charging formation. So as we're trying to close in on you, being line ahead minimizes our cross-section, makes us harder to hit and harder to detect. In the game, it's not really harder to detect because you're going to get detected at a set range anyway. But Nuremberg comes out. He's angled a little too much. We get a good shot in his direction. And I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to finish him, but we might get a good hit. And we do get a citadel on him already, taking us up to 53,000 damage. And you know the other guys are already firing their guns at the Nuremberg. I'm trying to get another shot. We get the shot off. Are we going to be able to take him out? Looks pretty solid. Yo, we left him with just enough. So close to finishing him off. It's so annoying. But it is what it is. And we are going to be able to finish this guy this time for sure. 100%. So as we finish him off, we are now turning our attention towards the last surviving Nuremberg, who has launched torps. And so we're going to get out of the way of those. We don't want to take any unnecessary damage. And we're going to get our guns all together. Now, the one drawback of the Pensacola is its horrendous turret traverse. Now, you can adjust your builds accordingly to fix that. I prefer, like, just using the turning of the ship. Turns fantastic. But 62,000 damage, 7 citadels, 3 kills, top of the leaderboard. 7 out of the 9 enemies were killed by our division. Okay? That's ridiculous. Let's see if we can't one-up that, shall we? With the final encore of the division game of this video. All 3 Pensacola's once again. And this is probably one of our better matches just as a team, period. Like, this was a fantastic match where we did everything basically perfectly. So hopefully you guys are ready. I know I set kind of high expectations for this match already. But again, we're going to showcase just how nasty the Pensacola is at its tier, and especially against other cruisers. And we are going to just absolutely run roughshod over the enemy disgustingly. But again, coming back to the weakness of different formations, you can run in a breast formation, which is what you start out in. You got one guy off to the right, one guy off to the left. I'm in the middle. But as you'll see, we'll kind of line up as we go down, and we'll be in a line ahead formation, which again is just, it keeps you from being as susceptible to being shot. I mean, you're presenting the least amount towards your expected enemy. Okay. Now, that being said, we are giving our broadsides currently to anybody who spawned to the northwest of us. Anybody that spawned in the top left corner of this match has our broadside right now. And you have to be aware of that because, like I said, if you get pinched, it's very, very difficult to win those engagements. You can kill some people out in front of you, but you generally end up losing because you're trying to fight one team and you're getting shot by another team who has no damage, like you can't really affect them, and you're giving them the absolute worst or best angle possible to do damage to you. So those are the situations you want to try to avoid, even though there's no real way to avoid them. You use the islands as best you can early in the match to try to limit who can shoot you, obviously. But the main thing is you just want to catch the enemy that you're going after as quickly as possible so that you can remove them as quickly as possible so that you can then dedicate your time to going after another team that might be coming up behind you. But in an ideal world, everybody on the enemy or all of the teams in an ideal world in arena mode will go to the closest enemy closest to them, right? And that will allow us, as we come up and absolutely pinch the crap out of the oranges here, if everybody goes to the shortest team to them, that means that everybody will be fighting one team, and then when they finish that, they will go fight the other team who has probably already finished their engagement at that point. This match, however, the Orange are going to be on the receiving end of the absolute worst pinch you can ever be a part of. One, you've got a team on one side that you're trying to angle against, and then the other team is an absolute unit. We've got Peak, we've got Greased, we've got me, and all of these guys are broadside to us in very close range. They have no chance of getting away. Wait for it. Pow! 3 Citadels, absolutely dropping him down below half health. And in a few seconds, we're going to do it again, and it should be the death of him. Wait for it. Shot out, and be gone. Stole that one from T-Bull, but as you can see, people getting pinched do not last long at all, as the red guy mops up the very last player on the orange team. Now here's a fun fact, guys. That kill right there is the only kill that we do not get for the rest of this match. Everybody else on the enemy team dies at our hands, which is why I said this is kind of the absolute perfect game for our team. But you're also going to see more of that crossfires, and also us getting pinched and how we deal with it. So the guys that spawn in our top left that I was talking about earlier, they are going to try to pinch us. And unfortunately for them, they show up a little bit late as we get our first Citadel on the Bajani. Now the red Bajani is part of a 2-man squad that is left. The one guy's already dead. We're going to try to shoot him, and then as you can see, the Dallas for the pink squad coming up behind us, trying to get himself into the fight. Now, what are we going to do? Well, we know that the pink squad is a full division, right? So we're going to split our division so that we can focus both teams at the same time, so that we're not absolutely leaving one team away and doing the other. Now, I take some shots at the Bajani at the expense of getting shot by I take shots at the Dallas at the expense of getting shot by the Bajani. Now, I'm going to turn my attention to the Bajani, and those two on my team should have no trouble hanging the destroyer, or the division that's behind us. Okay, that the pink squad should be in really bad states very quickly with those two players. And this is where trusting your allies comes in handy. Okay, knowing your division mates, knowing what they're capable of, and why you should or shouldn't help or not help or whatever. But as you can see, they've already lost one Dallas. Their Nuremberg's about to die, and we are currently aiming at the Bajani as far away as possible, trying to lead him perfectly as he gets absolutely pummeled and gets finished off by I got Greased. So you can see Greased and Peak, fantastic on their own. And so now what is the main thing here? Well, we've got 2 reds, one of which we have no idea where he's at, and we have a Bajani who is actively shooting at us. So we need to limit how much damage we take from the Bajani, and then make our way as close to him as possible. We got another Citadel on him, taking him below half health, and let's be real, he's not long for this world. Now, look at the positioning on the map. Because they went back, they're in a perfect position to provide a crossfire. There is a firing lane right across the center of the cap that they will have on this Bajani. Bajani is about to do the right thing, and he is going to try and bow tank me, which is absolutely the right thing to do if I don't have teammates set up in a crossfire. As you can see, the shell's already coming in on this Bajani. Now at this moment, he needs to recognize that this is not where he wants to be. Unfortunately, he just doesn't. He still maintains his, I'm coming straight at you. I go ahead and activate our sonar because I'm assuming that torpedoes are going to be on the way, and he takes a massive hit from one of the guys on my team. Now, obviously, we are on fire. We're going to try to negate that. We get a good penetration through the, or not through the bow, but into the superstructure. He tries to turn broadside again, but unfortunately gets finished off. And that's when we spot the Aoba. And this Aoba apparently was not playing, which is unfortunate for the enemies that were in the red squad. Could it be anything? You guys know how I feel about AFK. Like, it happens sometimes, I get it, but personally not a fan. Now, we're at too steep of an angle to get reliable penetrations. We get 4 penetrations, but we're not going to get those great penetrations in Citadels that we're looking at. However, this shot should be a little bit juicier because we're opening that angle up, flattening that angle out so that we can actually penetrate, and we get 3 Citadels with that salvo. And sure enough, we're going to get loaded in about 3 seconds, and we should be able to finish this guy off no problem. Luckily for me, he's kind of bow tanking those two, so that means I get the juicy damage, and they don't. But as you guys can see, division play makes Arena so much more fun. So much more competitive if you run into a good division. 82,000 damage by me, top of the leaderboard, 4,000 base, 3,800 base, 3,700 base, and 8 of the 9 enemies were killed by us. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.